It's wintertime, which means hot drinks, Netflix, and electric blankets. These creature comforts and technology helps us to get through these dark, horrible, cold, short days. But recently I wondered, people must have got by before all these things existed. Even 50 years ago, half of this stuff didn't exist and people survived. Because the truth is, most of it we don't actually need, but we want it. We want comfort because comfort's nice, right? And wanting comfort's fine, but there's a difference between wanting something and needing it. When we need something and we don't have it, it creates a state of suffering for us. When we don't have food and we need it, we're hungry. If we get injured and we don't have any medical help, we're in pain. So when we live in an era where most of people's basic needs are met, anything else is really a bonus. It's something that we want, it's not something that we need. But if you walk into any store or scroll through any app, you'll see we've got more choice than any other humans that have ever existed in history. We're flooded with thousands of brands, millions of products, and countless variations of the same product. Every day, people go bankrupt by leasing or buying things that they just can't afford. People will even queue around the block and pay for their nose for things that don't even offer any real value. Like a few years back, Supreme dropped the brick, a literal clay brick with the word Supreme on it. And people fought tooth and nail to get hold of it, paying hundreds. So why as human beings are we like this? If the list of what we actually need to survive and to get by is so small, why do we want all these things? Why do we chase all these things? I remember about a year ago, I spoke to this young guy who came from a really rich family. And he told me he was going to go into finance for work, but he knew he was going to despise it. He knew he was going to be miserable. So I asked him, why are you doing that? If you know that you're not going to be happy and you're not going to be fulfilled, why are you choosing to do it anyway? And what he told me was, it's the only way that I can maintain the lifestyle that I've been accustomed to. And that's always stuck with me because this guy, he didn't just want these materialistic things. He felt that he needed them so badly that he was willing to give up happiness, fulfillment, and just different possibilities of ways to live life just to hold on to them. And sometimes the things that we value and the things that we buy, they don't just cost money, they cost freedom. The lifestyle can become a prison. And before you know it, you're wearing a pair of golden handcuffs. So how have we got here? How has desire turned into dependency for so many people? It seems that in the age of consumerism, the gap between survival and comfort, the gap between want and need, is where companies thrive and make their millions. And they use psychological manipulation on us to get those millions. There's a famous scene in Wolf of Wall Street where Leonardo DiCaprio asks a guy to sell him a pen. And the guy doesn't try and sell him on the quality or the functionality of the pen. The guy simply asks him to write something down on a piece of paper, and he can't. Supply and demand. But the lesson isn't about a pen. It's about the core secret of sales. And that secret is create the need in the consumer and then offer them the solution. And this strategy comes straight from one man, a fella by the name of Edward Bernays. He was actually Sigmund Freud's nephew, and he was the first guy to realize that psychology could play a massive part of marketing. Before him, advertising was very simple. It would tell you exactly what function the product served, what it did. There's that old saying, it does what it says on the tin. But Bernays realized that marketing could be so much more powerful if it bypassed logic and went straight to emotion. Identity, desire, insecurities. Bernays realized that all these things could be used to get at the consumer. And not just that, they could be created within the consumer. And when that need is created, the companies can offer their product as a solution to that need. His most famous campaign was targeted towards women, at a time where they didn't have franchise, where they lacked autonomy, and they were second-class citizens to men. He encouraged them to smoke cigarettes by labeling them as torches of freedom, and used glamorous images of famous women smoking them to sell his point. By doing this, he turned a cigarette into a symbol of independence and rebellion. And it was a great success. Cigarette sales increased among women. But here's the truth. Women didn't need cigarettes at that time. They needed real autonomy, equality, agency. Bernays couldn't give them that, but he could sell them a symbolic substitute. And this became the blueprint for everything going forward. If people want love, you sell them attractiveness. If they want belonging, sell them status. If they want freedom, sell them rebellion. Marketing stopped trying to sell products and it started selling identity. And if you fast forward today, that brand of marketing is a monster. It touches us every day through phones, TV. It presents us with idealized versions of our lives and tells us that we can have this if we just buy the product. And nowhere is this clearer than the beauty industry. Every inch of the human body has a product designed to enhance it. Every feature can be fixed and every flaw can be corrected. But flaws are only flaws when they're compared against something that's perfect. And it's common knowledge that women have been bombarded with impossible beauty standards for decades now. But now a new revenue stream has opened up. They're going after men because they realize that that's a whole untapped stream of insecurity that can be monetized. When I started losing my hair, I got absolutely battered with adverts for finasteride, hair transplants. For about 3 months, it seemed like I got the same advert every time I opened YouTube. After a while, it felt like the advert was seared into my memory. And the message that I was getting was that baldness is a terrible affliction and I need to do something about it now before it was too late. And guess what? They've got the cure for it. And that's the model. You create the insecurity and then you present the cure, the solution. And that's the thing, the entire system is held up by us feeling insecure. If everyone on Earth woke up tomorrow and they felt confident, sure of themselves, happy with the way they looked, industries would collapse overnight. Because to them, self-esteem is bad for business. It gets in the way of profits. And this is how mad it's gotten. The same machine which has preyed on these insecurities for decades now sells us the illusion of self-acceptance. The same brands that created the unrealistic lifestyle expectations and impossible beauty standards are now selling acceptance and empowerment, but only if you buy it from them. But we don't need these corporations to give us permission to feel good about ourselves. And honestly, fuck them.